first mother house was across the street. First, they didn't even have a chapel. They built just a very small section, and within 10 years then, they added wings, and with that was the chapel and school and other important pieces that they needed for their mother house building. When this building was built, they didn't have the funds to complete everything that they were hoping for, and so that meant that some things had to wait. And the part that waited is this section right here where we're sitting. The chapel was completed then in 1936, just in time to celebrate the anniversary of the community. We have photos of the chapel in the first mother house building, and the very same stained glass windows are there. There was a separation between the upper part where the image of the saint is and the lower part. So when they were placed here, that part was left out, so the windows were put together as one piece.
One of the things I love is to come in here at different times and see how the sunlight plays on the windows and the colors and how it moves across the room and lights up different sisters and makes me have a reflection about how special they are. What I really like about that window is that the nameplate at the bottom is in German, so it really speaks to the history of our community. Being the Holy Family, all of us find two things. We come from a family, we have very strong roots in our family, and that, I think, gave us the grounding for our call to be sisters. And two, being a family is really important in community life. So a sense of having the Holy Family here looking over us and protecting us and calling us to be better at being family too. What was most important to him was Eucharist. So you see him there with a ciborium, with a host. And so there's really putting an emphasis on Eucharist, coming to Mass and praying together as sisters in community daily at that sacrifice of the Mass. We're reminded by that window to hold that very close to our hearts and as an ideal and a goal for us to come together. At the early times of the community, there was a really strong fear with all-around fire. So St. Barbara gives us that protection, if you would, that she's keeping watch over us and helping us be safe from fire. Have a duty to reach out to the very young. Actually, if you think about it, all ages, but particularly Aloysius was most endeared to the youth and their education. We seek St. Aloysius' intercession so that we might be good educators throughout our lives. St. Boniface's window is interesting because at his feet there's a tree stump. And there's an axe in that tree stump. There were folks who had believed that there were gods in the trees. And so the symbol of that window is to let us know that the god of the tree has been cut down. So the axe and the stump remind us that our God takes precedence. Not surprising on this campus that there's a fondness for music and fine arts, and that was a very, very early desire of the community to be able to bring forth music education. And so St. Cecilia reminds us that those roots are also important to us. Being surrounded by the saints, I'm reminded both by the saints that are in the images as well as the saints who are the ones who have gifted and been our benefactors over the years, that all of them surround us too. And when we think about being in the communion of saints, we're all on the journey. And these folks are helping us know that we've got you covered.
I often think about how many people have been in this room. People that I didn't know personally, but have read about or heard about as members of our community. There have been a lot of events in this room, profession ceremonies and reception ceremonies. So it really is a historic spot and treasured for sure.